Hello, friend. I am so excited to take you on a tour behind the brand Wendy Paige Sterling because it is such a phenomenal story and because she's such a phenomenal human. She's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, and she's actually my coach. She was not my coach at the time that we did the branding, which feels important to mention because she was growing into something. And that thing that she grew into ended up being one of the most transformative things that I have experienced, along with the other women that are in her coaching program with me. We'll talk about that. So I want to start where I started with Wendy, where Wendy started with me, because she will tell you that on our very first call, our get to know you connection call, she needed to express herself. She needed to just vomit all of this confusion and unhappiness. And I was there. I was there for all of it. I listened to every word, and I was wrapped with empathy and compassion and hope and motivation for Wendy because she's smart. She knows what she's talking about. She knows what she's doing. And she was in the middle of a big transition from a business that she used to be and a brand that she used to be into who she was becoming, and she didn't know what that was yet. Now, I am not the only person that helped her on this journey. She has her own coach. She has her own mentors. I will take credit for my pieces of it, but I can't take credit for it all. It takes a village to raise a business. It takes a village to grow a brand. I am so here for a village. My piece of it was helping her in that moment to let go. Just let it all out. I was there. I was there and I was receptive. I am a very good listener. And that's what Wendy needed in that moment. She needed someone to vent to and to tell her that she's okay. Because she was okay. She just felt overwhelmed. And don't we all sometimes? So Wendy was struggling with this sense of identity of who she had been. She'd been several things in her life. She'd been the wife, and then she was the divorce coach, and now she was growing into some kind of life coach, business coach, I don't know what kind of coach. That's hard. That's hard. That's confusing. How do we brand a coach if you don't know what kind of coach you are? Well, lucky for Wendy, I don't need my clients to have the answers. I help them to find the answers. So there was one day that we were on a call, and Wendy hit on this amazing moment. And I think that she went and she chewed on it and she talked about it with her mentors, and she came back and she said, I have it. I have it. I have it. I have it. Trust yourself unapologetically. And I said, oh, yeah, that's it. That's the thing. Wendy is a coach that teaches women to be unapologetic. It has worked out that a lot of her clients have been business owners, but it's not business owner exclusive. Her work is to teach women who have historically felt like they have to apologize for everything how to live without apologizing for the things that they want and they love and they choose. And that is something that I needed, which is why I hired her. That's the we're getting back to it thing. So I am now a part of Wendy's Unapologetic Mastermind. Wendy is still on a journey. She is going through incredible transformation. And I got there at the start of this big shift. And so we did Bridge the Gap branding, which is specifically tailored. It's a small enough version of branding that it's meant to be temporary. So she's not investing tens of thousands of dollars in something that she's going to outgrow because she still had a lot of growing to do. So now I'm going to take you on a tour of Wendy Paige Sterling, Trust Yourself Unapologetically, the style guide. Wendy had these phenomenal brand photos. I don't know the name of the woman who did them, so I will see if I can get that from Wendy and put it in the caption. She had these great pictures, and she was powerful and she was strong, and she's got this great wardrobe. She loves talking about her great wardrobe because she came from a fashion background, and it is hot. It is so powerful. And there were just little bits and pieces that were missing from a brand standpoint. This picture that's on the cover page, this is sort of a summary of the whole brand, this cover page, because we have Wendy Paige Sterling, we have the tagline, we have a little quote from Wendy, we have this signature, Sincerely Wendy, and then this imagery. So this picture was taken by her brand photographer. Again, I'll try and put the name in the caption because I want to give credit where credit is due. But it was in front of a door, a black door. The idea was there, but what they had available was this black door. And I just thought, I don't want to see you in front of a door to a house. That doesn't feel as powerful. The pose is powerful. The outfit is powerful. The styling is powerful. The light is powerful. Everything about this is so good, so hot. But the door, it just wasn't good enough for who she was becoming. So I got rid of the door and I replaced it with this strong yet organic background. And that feels very Wendy. Strong yet organic. So let's dive in. We have the primary logo that can exist on a white background or a sort of turquoisey blue background. Looks great either way. And then we have some variety because you always need variety. It can't just be this. If all you have is this, then you have a mark on a blank piece of paper. That's it. Maybe some colors, maybe some fonts. Congratulations. That's not a brand. You need more. The brand needs to exist in many varieties and in many places. And you can't, you just can't just have this. It can't just be this. It's gotta be flexible. So we have signatures for Wendy. When she wants to be Wendy Paige Sterling, Love and Light Wendy. That's great for signing the bottom of a proposal or something. Love and Light Wendy is more familiar. It's, maybe there's different contexts in which each one of these gets used as part of an email footer. They also get to be used in all kinds of contexts on social media when she's quoting herself, because I don't want to hear what somebody else has to say. I want to hear what Wendy has to say. I don't want her quoting the Dalai Lama or other professionals in her industry. I want her making bold statements unapologetically in her own words. So giving her the tools to do that in a visual way. Awesome. And then we have this little icon that has turned out to be very helpful, and she uses it all over the place. Trust yourself, unapologetically, WPS. And what matters here is not that it doesn't say Wendy Paige Sterling, because it does say Wendy Paige Sterling, because it's got the same colors, it's got the same font, it's got the same feel, it's strong. And this I typically would suggest that she put in a place where people already know who she is. This is not for people who are just encountering the brand for the first time. It is inside of systems where, like her email list, where people already know who she is. She gets to use this because they don't need to know her name. They already know her name. And they can recognize this iconic icon. Then this thing here, there's something about both of these with the black circle and the white lettering, in particular the W, that it reminds me of like a car logo, an emblem. It feels expensive. It feels powerful. And that is Wendy. I wanted her. I wanted her brand to feel expensive. Not exclusionary, but rich and valuable. So there's that. Then we have some colors and some fonts, of course. And then we have real life application. Because if I just give you what's up here, what are you supposed to do with it? What are you supposed to do with it? You're supposed to figure everything else out on your own. Okay, cool. Not helpful. Not helpful. You need the background imagery. You need the sense of proportion and balance, and how do things live in harmony with each other. That's where the actual visual brand stuff becomes magic. So we have I created a whole mock-up of her website so that she could see how the visual pieces that I was giving her, the puzzle pieces that I was giving her, fit together. And then we have another kind of background imagery. This is this like sort of crashing wave, but I wanted it to be dark and mysterious. Wendy has this deep connection to the ocean and to fire. And I wanted that strength and that power and that movement and that, up here we have this sort of tropical earthy plant, but it's in stark contrast, black and white. And here we've got the ocean, but it's got depth. It's like you're at the deepest part of the ocean because it's so dark and it's moving and it's powerful. That feels like Wendy to me. So this is more of, you got a little snapshot of that website layout, but then here's more of that. Another thing to say about the photos, again, they were beautiful and so good for Wendy, but little things like she had pictures of herself in the middle of a street doing a power pose in this amazing outfit. Everything was great, but there were cars in the background. And if I'm paying thousands of dollars and eventually tens of thousands of dollars to someone to coach me to be unapologetic, I want to imagine that she closed off the street so that she could get her photos. I don't want to see other people's parked cars. I just want to see her. I want to imagine that there's the world that she is creating for me where she is powerful enough that she blocked off the entire street so that she could take that picture. Amazing. Small things, small decisions are where brands become magic. Now moving on, more of the visual context and the real life application of the brand. I always include Canva templates. Always, 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 always. Always include Canva templates because you need them. Canva templates are two things. They are the easiest way for Wendy to actually use the brand because I don't want it to sit in her pocket. I want it to be used. I want it to exist in the world. And so for most of these, I populate the text so that, and it's either things that I have come up with through the brand messaging, or it's things that I've gotten directly from her existing social media posts or what we've talked about on calls, because I want her to be able to take these things and post them. Just do it. Just get it over with. Rip off the Band-Aid. Make a splash. Get the world to see you. Look at these pictures. Look, we were talking about before about the door versus having this powerful background. And so we've got one here, and then we've got this one where she's pointing at you. I love that. I love all of the pictures that her photographer took and just taking them that extra step further. Wendy didn't have these elements of context before. Her photographer could not have gotten her to this place because she's not a branding person. You need someone with that big picture vision of how all the elements work together. You can see we've got that high contrast plant black and white image. And then we've got the roaring sea and all of these things, and that sort of soft but deep electric blue, and these little pops, just little pops of red to catch your attention. It's all got to work together. That's what I do. And so we're going to take another little peek back into the past, because really Wendy, before this, she had a thriving business with all of her stuff figured out, but she was transitioning out of that business into something new, and she just didn't have a logo yet. She just didn't have a brand at all. She had who she was, but she needed to know who she was becoming. And that's hard, and it's not a thing you can do by yourself. So from nothing, from Wendy, the human, with the purpose and the intention and the passion, we together created this unapologetically powerful Wendy brand. So she's been able to take this. She has been able to take this and make so many quick and powerful moves. Sometimes the one thing that is in the way is this. It's that you know what you want to say. Maybe you know what you want to say. Maybe you know what you want to do, but you don't do it because you're ashamed to share your website. You're afraid to invest in branding because you know that you're not done growing. You don't tell people what you do because you don't know how to say it succinctly. All of those things are things that I do. All of those things are things that I create space for and help with because you do not need to stay stuck. You should not stay stuck. You should move forward. And that's what I do. I help people to find themselves. I help them to see themselves, and I help them to move forward. Wendy is now making in a week what she would make in a quarter last year. Sounds pretty good. Sounds like getting out of your own way can really pay off. I am so proud of Wendy. I am so grateful for you being here to listen to this tour, and I can't wait to show you all of the amazing brands that I've been working on.